Does he have friends of his own? Her parents are really great, honestly. Show and tell, hi guys, I'm Judy, and today I'm going to be watching Fruits Basket Reboot Season 1, Episode 22. In the last episode, we focused on the fan club of Yuki as they visited Hanajima's house to try to find her weakness. And we found out that her weakness is Tooru, and just like her love for Tooru, basically. And it was kind of like a lovely kind of way to realize it, I guess, even though we focused a lot through like the point of view of the stupid girls in the fan club. Anyway, let's get into this episode. I do think this is like a backstory, a Hanajima backstory here. You know, actually delve into her past. Pretty sure, but not 100%. What did I do? It's about time to take off your badge of sin and check out my Patreon to get ahead on Fruits Basket reactions. I'm currently on episode 3 of season 2, if I'm not mistaken. More importantly, though, I hope you enjoy this reaction. It helps me a lot if you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Please make sure to support the original content, and let's get into it. Like she heard only bad things.
Saki.
Saki-chan! ごめんね。こういうところなら大丈夫かと。帰ろう。帰ろうね。
I love that her family is like a good family, because a lot in this show we have so many parents who are just so bad.
持って生まれた能力とはいえ、何の対処もしてやれないのは親として歯がゆいね。
I really like her parents. Like they all seem very normal, but they are just like, oh yeah, she has these powers.
優しい家族、優しい声。力のせいで迷惑なんかかけたくなかった。
I love this juxtaposition because it's not just her being like, I don't want to cause them trouble just because they're kind. She knows what the world is like because she hears all those voices, and most of them we see like by a staggering amount are really negative, and so she doesn't want her own kind family that she sees as so rare to be in any way polluted by that. She wants to keep them sacred and disconnected from the other voices of the world.
なんか言えよ、魔女。もうやめなよ、男子。だってこいつほんと魔女みたいじゃん。ネクラで喋んないし。なんでそれで魔女なのよ。魔女は生きたイモリ食うって姉ちゃん言ってたぞ。私こんなもの食べる。うるせえ。抑えろ。口ん中入れろ。ちょっと何やって。食ったよ、マジで食った。私がもしも魔女ならば、あなたは何だというの。あなたはここまでしていいと許されているの。いっそお前なんか死んでしまえ。死んでしまえ。死んでしまえ。死んでしまえ。死んでしまえ。死んでしまえ。死んでしまえ。死ね。
Wow.
ようやく意識が戻ったらしいの。死ねばいいと思ったからよ。私が死ねって強く思ってしまったから。だからさきちゃん、
Like they already let her
私
dress.
はいつ警察に行
Look
く
at
の。
this way.
いつ刑務所に入るの。本当に殺したかと思ったの。今度は本当に殺してしまうかもしれないの。怖い。
Like she's scared of herself.
お前もう学校来んじゃねえよ。気色悪いんだよ、バーカ。それは当然の報いだと感じた。
Look, what do you do with that as parents? What do you do? Like your child tells you, I tried killing someone. I think I might try to... Like the fact that she thinks about it and she's scared means that she obviously doesn't want to do it.
めぐみ、あなた、またそんな本を読んで。おばばがさっきの力についての参考になるかもって。
So he doesn't have powers of his own.
どうしてさっ
Learned.
きはいつも黙ってるの。当然の報いって思ってるの。 警察が私を裁けなくても、それでも
She's going to do it to
何
herself.
らかの形で
Yeah.
私には罰が与えられるべきだ。
Or at least let it happen.
じゃあ俺は祈るよ。サキが一生そうやって一人ぼっちでいていいはずないから。
Does he have friends of his own?
人が溢れるこの世界にサキを大切に思ってくれる人が一人もいないなんて、そんなことあるはずがないから。
To go back to what I was saying before, I think Megumi in a way is telling her, I know so far you've had only bad experiences going out into the world. All you've heard were bad voices. But it isn't possible that in such a large world, there aren't any more kind voices like, our own family. He's reminding her that the world is so, so big and that there has to be, some good voices out there. And he's asking her to believe maybe just a little bit.
会いに来てください。遠い国にいるのなら飛行機に乗って。
It's like he's sent word to her in some way.
途方もない祈りに思えた。届かない祈りもあると。私別に死ぬの怖くないもん。
Jesus.
じゃあお熱いの入ります。ダメ。何も考えちゃダメ。痛みに集中して。
Yeah, the one thing she thinks about is not like, oh my god, don't burn me. It's like, oh my god, don't think about it.
もう誰も。
何やってるお前ら。
やべ。先生、花島さんが街で遊んでました。うちらで止めたんですけど。よかった。みんな無事。
お父さんたちは今の環境の中にサキをもう置いておきたくないんだ。
I'd say it's about
父さん
time.
たちだけ引っ越して。私はもう迷惑をかけるのは嫌。サキちゃん。
大好きだよ、サキ。だからまだ諦めないで。
Her parents are really great, honestly.
罪人の証をなくせというの？けったいな大人ね。先生、花島さんの爪黒いです。罪人の証だそうよ。一体何を諦めないでほしいの？父さん。
Being happy, being loved.
今日は大盛りサービスなのです。花島さん。
She knows her
ホンダ
name.
トールと言います。よろしくお願いします。おい、そこの転校生。どうせ一人で空気だろう。そういうのうぜえからここ座れよ。臆さない人はここにも一人。ご一緒にお食事しましょう。どうぞ花島さん、お座りください。花島か。京子さん的に言えば、あんたは花ちゃん。あ、そうですね。花ちゃんです、花ちゃん。私自体と関わりを持たない方がいいわ。百害あって一理なしよ。私と関わっても一理あるかどうか。私なんか200害あって一理なしかもな。細かいことはいいじゃんよ。今日あんたは転校してきて、天気が良くて給食があって、変な二人とそれを食べるのだ。いただきます。本当に変だわ。よく言われます。
Tor. That's so funny that she's like, think of herself as a weirdo.
明日はおはようとか言われるのかしら。おはようございます、花ちゃん。早くプールをなんだ、トール告白でもしたのか。だって嬉しかったのよ。今日も真っ赤な夕焼け。はい。優しい色だな。
They just accept her for where she is. And I don't know exactly how the conversation happened when she was like, yes, I have waves and stuff.
小学校の頃、同じクラスの男子殺しかけたって本当？なんかなんだっけ、毒電波ってやつで。 花島さんすごい不良でタバコとか吸って止めに入った女子の腕とか焼いたって殺しかけた。それで問題になって転校したって。殺しかけた。
Okay, this got way out of hand.
何今。花ちゃん待ってください。花ちゃん怖い。もう私なんかと一緒にいてはダメよ。私力本当にあって殺しかけてだからダメ。
Like, what do you do with this kind of thing?
こんなに近くにいるのに私はまだ知らないことがたくさんあるかもですが、でも離れていかないでください。花ちゃん花ちゃん大好きです。傷つけてしまうかもしれないのに、許されないことかもしれないのに。
お前が決めろよ。なんかいろいろ決めつけんなよ。お前は離れたいのかよ。知りたいのはそれだけだよ。
帰る日、見上げる空は震えるくらい寂しく見えた。不思議、いつの間にか優しく見えて伸びてゆく影がいる。
That's why she said that.
一緒にいたい。一緒に一緒にいたい。祈るよ。だから諦めないで。
This is really sad.
今聞こえないようにすることができたわ。本当、さきちゃん、やったです。
なんだ、どうやったんだ？
パッとしてシュッて感じ。
今の説明で理解できたか？
要はコツを得たってこと。満たされることで生まれる余裕のせいだからといって、面白半分に力を使ったりはしなかったけど据えたぐらいかしら。
Just yeah, but now she's in control of it. Like it's obviously very directed.
長い間着ていたせいかしら。今では
Became your thing.
この色じゃないと落ち着かないのよ。今さら俺たちが黄色だのピンクだの着たら、それはもう町内大騒ぎ。そうね。でも少し興味あるわね。大騒ぎ。
Does sound interesting.
感謝しているわ。父さんたちとあなたに。胸が痛むことがあるの。あんなに家族に愛されていながら満たされなかった私の心。
人間ってさ、他人を求めずにはいられないんだよ。やっぱり他人に受け入れてほしい。
Yeah, you want the acceptance of a stranger, kind of.
子供が幸せそうにしてたらさ、それで本当に十分なんだよ。だからさ、あんたたちもいつかさ、それぞれ別の道を歩き出すとしてもさ、続いていくものはきっと必ずあるはずだから。
Definitely. Nothing can take away, you know, that feeling that, you know, the feeling of being accepted that they gave her. Like for the first time, like she was always accepted by her family from the get-go, but in a way, like you can understand why that sometimes, I mean, obviously here in the show, especially like when you compare it to other parents, you're just like, that shouldn't be taken for granted. But on the grand scheme of things, usually normal parents, you know, will like, they accept you for who you are, and they you know, and love you and everything. And sometimes, most of the time, that's not enough, because it's kind of like a different kind of acceptance. It's like, you know, it's kind of like you don't get to choose your family, so it's kind of like a given. It's kind of like, you know, you have to accept me because I'm yours, kind of. And when it comes from a person from outside, like a person who doesn't know you, like it's kind of like this different kind of acceptance, because like a family can kind of saw you, kind of watched you grow. They kind of accepted you from the get-go like as a baby, you understand this attachment to a baby, and then kind of this, you know, you're my daughter, I'm just gonna watch over you, watch you grow, and just like you kind of expect to some degree like a parent's acceptance. But again, it shouldn't be taken for granted all the way, definitely not. But for the most part, yes, it is a thing that you kind of expect in a healthy family. And when it comes from someone who sees you as who you are right now, kind of, who doesn't know all your history, who hasn't watched you and is proud of you, and you're like part of them, so they have to be, in a way, like accept you for who you are, in a way. A lot of times it doesn't happen, even, like, you know, I mean, but in any case, there's definitely something else in the fact that, you know, people reach out to you, like people your own age, people who kind of see you for who you are, and then they just kind of accept you. They reach out for you and they tell you, yeah, it's okay to be yourself with us, like we want it, we love it, you know, we appreciate your weirdness and we want it as part of our weirdness and stuff. Like there's so much freedom in it. Like it's not something that you really take for granted, especially not when with Saki, who was like always kind of distancing herself from everyone and never knew what it was like to have a friend, like growing up at all. And then at some point it became like a punishment for herself that, you know, she can't get close to anyone because she might just like, you know, use her powers by accident. And the thing was that it was kind of like, you know, intertwined. The fact that she was all alone and bullied and stuff obviously made her power go even more haywire, like in a soon, and it makes sense that kind of as soon as she found acceptance, as soon as she found someone a company to be around her, her kind of powers started settling down, because in a way her powers are kind of a reflection of what she feels inside, or at least they're very much affected by what she feels. Like it makes total sense. Like, I mean, it's not even like really about a power. Like, think about it. If someone like starts bullying you or attacking you, your first instinct would be to attack back, you know, or to do something. And so here, what she does is like her power is kind of like this automatic extension of herself. So she immediately used that in order to, you know, attack back. I do feel, however, that it was a little strange how, I mean, everything about this is strange. Like, I mean, Hana is strange, you know? But, like, just, and I know that Tooru, like, accepts everyone. And obviously, at that point, Tooru and Uo and Hana have become, like, they didn't know everything about each other yet, but they did see enough of Hana to know she's a good person. And to kind of like, and to like her company, you know? Like, they knew already to appreciate Hana, even if they didn't know all of this, that they just kind of found out. But it is kind of like, you know, you hear about someone who almost killed someone and you don't even really understand what's going on, but you're just like, okay, evil wave something, you almost kill a person, and okay, it's one thing to hear it from someone else and be like, no, I know this person, she's my friend, she doesn't do that kind of thing, or like I trust her or something. But then hear her, like Hana herself, say, you shouldn't get close to me, I almost killed someone, you know, I could hurt you or something. Like, I feel like there should be some hesitation there. But obviously Tooru sees to the heart of people, and the thing is that also to the heart of evil people. Like, she sees to the heart of everyone, and she will always kind of find a way to get close, like to understand you or accept you and stuff. So it almost doesn't matter what you did. I mean, I think maybe almost killed is like a little too hard. Like, she called it that, and we could see that the rumors kind of got out of hand a little bit afterwards. But I mean, she did put some boy to, like, knocked him unconscious, which is definitely a scary thing that you can do with your mind. But maybe it wasn't even close to that, you know? It was just the fact that she thought about death, and this is what happened in response. I guess she just thought it was more like her plea for death was more like, leave me alone, you know? I just want you to stop harassing me. So knocking him unconscious was like the most efficient way to do that, to make him stop harassing her, you know, I guess, to make him stop. Obviously, we're made to feel that there's probably not anything inherently evil about her powers, but like even when she thought death, it didn't actually happen. It's still a scary thing. And the thing is that she did gain control of it. So now it's not going to happen just like out of the blue, like she won't be able to control it. Also, the change is that she's no longer in a place where she's in a position where she feels the need to defend herself in this kind of desperate way, because she has the support from not only her family, but also like friends at the school. Like she's always kind of, maybe not always, but she's surrounded by these people who love her, and they're kind of constant reminders of the good in her, and how much like, and the fact that she was able to be like accepted by someone, that they love her. And so it's kind of like what Kyoko said, that, you know, even when you're separate from your friends, this relationship will always affect you. There will always be a part of this relationship inside you. So it's like this kind of knowledge, it gives you this kind of confidence and knowledge in the good of yourself, kind of in the good of yourself that other people see, that maybe you don't see clearly, but other people definitely do. So you don't reach that very low point when you're just like, even if like the same thing kind of happened and she was being bullied again, it wouldn't be the same, because now she has like this very steady support. Like now she knows who she is. She knows she's capable of being loved and accepted by others. So like she wouldn't need to lash out or protect herself in the same way to kind of prove or to kind of like announce her right for survival, kind of, because she knows already, she knows what her place in the world is. Like she's found her place. Now she accepts her weirdness because it was accepted by others who didn't know about this weirdness, and then it was suddenly dropped on them. I mean, they knew she was weird, but they didn't know, I guess, how far that weirdness could reach. And then it was kind of dropped on them. They were like, okay, they accepted her anyway. And before, she was always like feeling like she was a burden. She was feeling like, oh my god, these powers, look what they do to my parents, look what they do to everyone around me. She was always kind of feeling guilty about her own existence. So that's why, in a way, her power was kind of rebelling inside her. Like she wasn't at peace with herself. So like her power was out of control. She was out of control. She couldn't, like, nothing worked, nothing sat right. And now that she's like surrounded by goodness, she's able to, you know, she's just able to be calm. She's just able to, you know, kind of focus herself on what's important and accept who she is, and kind of use it as her strength, you know, kind of use it as a joke now, like as this like, yeah, I'm going to protect my friend with these powers, and I you know, I'm not actually going to do anything to you. I'm capable of it, but I won't do it because I don't need to at this point, you know. Like I'm at peace with myself. I'm at peace with who I am, and the people I'm surrounded by. And of course, as always, Kyoko's like words, like they always, you know, pack a punch, and like it wasn't as intense as it was with Uo, because with Uo it was like this, like, you know, like Kyoko really like it connected to her past, and we just saw her like actually go out to save Uo. And here it was just, you know, Kyoko talking, like kind of giving her words of wisdom to Hana, and that obviously meant a lot to her. Like every word she says, honestly, is just like the most profound thing ever. Like every sentence from Kyoko is like, I mean, Tooru kind of got it from her, but the thing is that it's like the effect of only seeing Kyoko pretty much through these back stories or flashbacks, and you just like you go back to these very important moments, and you just kind of hear her like, you know, every time we see her, she says something super insightful and beautiful, and just that makes you like, and you're just like, oh wow, this person is like every time she's the most amazing. Like she knows exactly what to say, and she has, yeah, the most amazing way to articulate it. But here was like a little less gut-wrenching in the sense of like we didn't see the impact of Kyoko's death on Hana in particular, you know. And it makes a lot of sense, because I don't think in any way the impact of Kyoko's death on Hana would be the same as it was on Uo. Because to Hana, Kyoko was a very great person in her life, for sure. But it was always after Tooru. Tooru and Uo, but Tooru in particular was the one who saved her Hana has a family who loves her. She has like support at home. But what opened up the world for her was Toru's friendship and Uo's. But Tooru who reached out, and Tooru who accepted her when, you know, the worst was revealed. And so, of course, losing Kyoko wouldn't hurt her quite as much as it would Uo. It's kind of reflected in their personality. Hana is incredibly attached to Tooru. Both of them are. But Hana, I mean, I said this last episode, how there was something fragile about Hana's, you know, attachment to Tooru. She can't possibly imagine losing her and surviving it. Uo, for instance, you know, to her, I think Kyoko in some way was the most important person who really saved her, and she has lost her. So in a way, you know, Uo as kind of like she lost one of the most important people in her life, and she survived. So we kind of see, I think, this kind of toughness in her. Uo also came from a much tougher background than Hana. Hana came from a gentle background of, you know, of a loving family. Uo kind of never had that stability. I just love to see how it's reflected in who they are now in the present. Everything they went through in the past. We were just like mostly focusing on the friendship, the fact that she's not alone, the fact that there's like more shadows on the ground around her, and that she's like that even when, you know, they separate at some point in the future, they will always have each other in their hearts. And it kind of comes as a counter for what Hana said, that she wouldn't be able to bear it if Tooru was gone. But obviously she was talking about death, and here Kyoko wasn't talking about death. Kyoko was more talking about them just going their own way at some point in the future, because that usually happens a lot of times. But in some way it does apply to that as well. I mean, obviously this was said before, so Hana definitely seems to have a mindset of like, I won't be able to stand it, and you can understand it, because a lot of what Tooru brought her, this stability, this idea, like this ability to accept herself. So without Tooru, I think it's definitely understandable that it might all come crashing down, but hopefully not. Hopefully, like, anyway, I choose to believe that, you know, like she thinks she wouldn't be able to stand it, but if Tooru were really gone, like the thought that she'd rather not have had Tooru at all, like she'd rather forget Tooru than grieve her. I think it's like, I understand that sentiment, but I think at the end of the day, especially after we saw this backstory, like not having her at all, I think would have hurt a lot more. You know, not remembering her at all would just leave you stuck in the, like, thinking you never left that moment of finding an actual friend, you know? Like, you would feel like she's back in that isolation and that hopelessness and that knowledge that she doesn't deserve anyone to reach out to her. Like, I still think, like, I mean, I understand why Hana would say this, and I feel like, I think she means it. Like, I think she really thinks that she wouldn't be able to stand this world without Tooru in it, knowing that she was in it, kind of. But I'd like to think that she's wrong, and that if that ever happens, of course it wouldn't happen, but like, if it ever were to happen, she would still be able to, at some point, appreciate the fact that Tooru ever existed for her. It's a very dark episode, and it really, like, at the beginning, it really makes you question, like, oh my god, like, what do you do as a parent? Like, you have a child with powers, and they, like, obviously they don't intend to do anything evil. Like, you know that their heart is pure. You see it. It's not like I was thinking, you know, some kids with, like, kind of mental illness or something, that they, like, maybe they don't want to hurt you or something, but they kind of do anyway. Like, that's a scary thing that you really have to work on. Here, it feels like Hana really, really didn't want to use her powers at all. Like, it happened once and never again. Like, she stopped herself when it became, like back then when it happened, it was like they were trying to make her eat a live newt or whatever, but it wasn't like, they weren't physically hurting her, even though she kind of fell. But like later on, when we saw her being burned, You know, she was actually physically hurt. And like I think that a physical pain sometimes makes you lash out even more. And she was able to hold herself back. Like she was so, like she could still control her power even when it didn't feel like it. She could do it. Like as soon as it happened once, that was like the thing that she could never cross again. That she was like, I will never let this happen again. And she managed to do that. So she's obviously in control. Like she wasn't completely out of, like, you know, she could stop herself. So I guess that's like the strongest indication to show that she doesn't want to hurt anyone. And she's like, it's not like she can't control it at all. She can. It's just that the need inside her was like to use it. Like she was afraid that she would lose control. The very idea of putting it to the test was scary to her. Even if she did manage to, you know, pass the test, she didn't actually use her powers. But it was like a mental struggle, and she was just like kind of had PTSD over the idea that she could cause this again. Like I don't think she would have ever let herself use her power this way again.
So I'm kind of stumbling over my words here, but basically what I'm trying to say, I think, is that Hana could have control of her power. It's just that her perceived lack of control is what caused her to, you know, freak out every time, and in result made her lose it. So, you know, the moment she relaxed, the moment she trusted herself, it never happened again. The moment she realized she had control of the power, actually, it never happened again.
It was the trust that was not there that kind of Tooru really established for her and Uo too, by their acceptance. I do like Hana, and they're definitely a weird combo, her and her brother, but they are precious. Honestly, they're so random and weird and beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoy this reaction, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Special thanks to my top Patreons, Redding Tier, Andy Plays All Night, Stone Tree, Tyranor, and Michael Gabriel. And to the rest of my amazing Patreons, without whose support I would never be able to do any of this. Thank you so much.